Hey guys, welcome to this video where I would like to tackle some skeleton key voicings to get you away from certain bar chords that you're used to playing, develop more color and stray away from the fifths and the bars. So really simply in this video we're going to tackle three kinds of voicings. One that focus on having the third on top and with beautiful seconds. Then we're going to focus on a voicing about the fifths, which I'll get to in a moment, of course. And then another one that's a shell without a root. So let's get going with the content. The first voicing I'd like us to consider is this good old C major 7, call it a garden variety. And I'll bring your attention here to the fact that our pinky is playing an E note. This voicing, although good, is a good place to start. Even the bar version, right, this guy, right? But I think it's pretty empty and there could be more colors. So what we're going to do is focus our attention on the pinky, knowing that it is playing an E note. And the E note is of course the third of C. We have this beautiful 10th interval right here. And what I'd like to do is to focus our attention there and then to transition this note over to the index and then reach for this other C right here. Yes, you've seen that right. We're here, here, and we go here and here. So we're essentially using the index not to start the voicing, but the index to have our top note in. Now that you have this and that, we're going to fill in the rest. So what we have is a D string playing a B note and a G string playing a D note. So we have a C major 9 on which we have the 7th and 9th here and the E note. If it's the first time playing this voicing, it may feel uncomfortable, but you'll see as you adjust into it, it has beautiful ramifications over all of your comping. So what else could we do with this? Quickly, if I'm strong enough, I can bar the top to have an A, so now I have a 7th, a 9th, a 3rd, and a 13th. So it's effectively a C major 13th, but this is not where I prefer to go with that voicing. My favorite one, you heard it in the introduction, is that I will take this voicing and I will lower down my pinky to play a B flat, so I get this C9. Why do I enjoy playing this C9 here? It's because of that crunch. Because if I play a C9 like this, yes, I have the 3rd and I have the 9th, but they're like this. And if I play a C9 like this, I have the opportunity of having the 3rd and the 9th rub like this, and I can even do a C7 flat 9. Woo! Versus my C7 flat 9 like this, my classic one, sharp 9, flat 9. This one is for advanced guys, by the way, so this is pretty intense. So after I have that, I have a version to play the blues in C, in which I will go to my F chord next, of course, so I have, right, which is more rich, more dense, and which is away from our good old bar. And if you play blues and you still play a C7 like this, then you'll be encouraged to really switch over to remove the 5th. And the 5th, which is the G, which is a power chord, is often the first thing jazz guitarists will remove from their vocabulary. Beyond that point with that voicing, if you want to experiment, you're adventurous, you can do the C9 like this also. You can let go of that root completely and just play the top note. So if you guys have played the Barry Galbraith Shiny, the first etude in his comping book, you have this voicing. So it's a C9 with the 13 on top, so you can play that here. And then you can play C7 flat 9 with the 13 on top as well, which is beautiful. So those are really cool for playing these little 2/5s. And then you would, of course, go to an F major, which is the key Shiny is in, of course. Great, let's start to look at the second voicing. So based on the 5th, something you guys probably still do is play a D minor 7, something like this. So it's a pretty bland garden variety D minor 7. I start with my bar, my 7th here, my 3rd here, and then my 5th is here. Since I want to have the 5th on top, what I encourage you to do again is to transition from thinking laterally bar like this and to have the 2nd or 3rd finger playing the root. So I will keep this, I will keep the 5th, so the A note on the top string. I will keep it, so I already have this power chord, so I don't need another A, and I will remove it and start to play voicing like that, right? So that is called a D minor 9. So the way effectively to build it is to do a partial bar with the 3rd finger. Avoid guys going like trying to do this and do multiple fingers. I'd say attempt to bar your 3rd finger to do a partial bar like this. This joint the first phalange will stretch out over time as you learn to do this. So you play this one first, add 3 clean notes, and then you have an index, and then you have the root. If that is too uncomfortable, you can keep in mind that shape and just migrate it somewhere else. For instance, G minor 9. And now it sounds good, and you have less of a stretch. The hardest stretch of all, of course, doing a C. So if you do a C like this, then that's a pretty big stretch between the first 2 fingers, but that will also stretch out over time. So what we have so far, we went from this boring D minor 7 to a D minor 9 with the same note on top, maybe for the purpose of chord melody, naturally. And what we can do is to start to let go of the root altogether and go like this. We have an implied root of a D minor 7 here, the D note. And then the best thing I do with those guys, what I love is this. I love to play an 11th behind it. So we bar again, but instead of barring a boring one, we bar a very colorful one. Because now we have the 3rd, the 7th, it's the flat 7 of course, the 9th and the 11th, so we have all of that for free. And if you guys have been following the channel for any length of time, you'll heard this guy. It's in the introduction. I don't know that it's in the same key. I think it's probably an F, something like that. But I go D minor 9 bar behind. I play only the top 3 notes, but I go. And that's one of my signature comping licks, if you want. So now that what we got so far, we got a way to do a C major with beautiful seconds, and we got a way to reverse the D minor. Let's pick one more. So another skeleton key type of voicing is when my guys still do the blues with their dominant chords, and they're still either doing something like this, which is fine, or worse, they're doing something like this. I hate that one. Sorry, because you get a 5th and get a 5th, and you pretty much only get the 5th and the 3rd and the 7th, and you don't have any groundings. If you want to do jazz in a blues sense, I'd rather you do something like this, naturally. And there's a way to make this even more deep and even more powerful. Check this out. If I have an F7 like this, and I strip away to the bare minimum, I have an F note, an A note, and an E flat. So here I have root, 3rd, and 7th. I will remove the root altogether to focus here on the 3rd and the 7th. Okay. Next up, I will take the 7th and bring it down 1 octave and keep the 3rd. There we go. So now I have an F7 voicing without the F. If you want some fretboard geography tips, you go, well, 1, 2 frets higher, so 1 whole step. That's where my F is, but I go like this to play that voicing, right? So it's a voicing in which there are no roots, but it affords us the privilege of having notes higher on the top strings, which is what I've done in introduction. I was just comping blues, and I was thinking about these beautiful shells, and then I was just adding notes like this, even. So if we were to play the first 4 bars of blues in F, we could go something like this. F7, B flat 7, F7, bar 5 to B flat 7, right? So let me just run you through a chorus of this in real time without any of the extensions to see how it goes. A 1, a 2, a blues in F now. So now the beauty in this is that you start to have chromatic movements because these 3rd and 7ths on the A and D string are a bit deeper, and then we can start to add the notes. So the notes we can add on top at first are, so 3rd and 7th here, the 13th is right there, and while you're playing your B flat, this guy, root, implied root, you have a C note which is the 9th. So check this out, F13, B flat 9, back to F13, F13 flat 9, woohoo! You haven't seen my face this whole video, right? And then we go to the B flat again, right? So there's a whole world that you can explore while you go, let me get rid of that root and see if I can find the 3rd and 7th on the A and D string. This is a world for yours to discover, which is an amazing guitar world in the genre of Ted Green, Ed Bickert, of course some Wes, and perhaps I would say Lenny Bro use a lot of these voicings with more pedal points. All right, quick takeaways, guys. Did you enjoy this video? Yes, no? Leave me a thumbs up to let me know you did. And if you have any follow-up questions, please, let's fill this comments section with a lot of answers and questions from you guys, because this is how I create the rest of the content on this channel. It's always from feedback from you, so thanks for being here. Quick recap. We went from our C major 7 to this guy. Then we went from our D minor 7 to this guy. And we went from our OK F to our F13 without a root. And with that, I will leave with some improvised comping on the blues in F. I will just sort of play for you. Please like, subscribe, see the channel for plenty more free lessons and tabs for songs, standards, chords, improvisation, concepts, licks. And please join the free Jazz Guitar Fellowship. This is the best jazz guitar community on earth. It's for free, guys. It's all my resources I built over 15 years that you get in a single click. You just need to sign up. I'll see you in there. Thank you. See you in the next video.